What's going on, Bully fam? It's your boy, the educator, the scientist, Mr. Double Muscle Line Bulls, bringing you another quick episode of Breeders' Hacks. So, you got allergy problem, your dog breaking out, hot spots, hives, chewing at the paws, all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, we'll cover that in today's episode, go over some things, some antibiotics, some medicines, things like that. Things you can do at home. Yeah, so stay tuned. So I wanted to shoot a quick episode just going into what we do here, you know, when you get allergies and stuff like that. Especially with like the exotic bully is what we breed here. These dogs are, you know, known to have allergies, but it's across the board. I mean, a lot of purebreds have allergies, you know. Even, you know, crossbreeds have allergies. It just happens, you know. So anyway, we're just gonna go over the things that, you know, can happen and how you would want to treat them and things like that. So, you know, if you have a dog that has an allergy, you know, they're breaking out in hives, they're scratching a lot, they may even be losing fur, having hot spots, things like that. I just figured I'd go over a few things that, you know, we do here. I mind you guys, I'm not a vet, you know, so anything you want, you know, take it up with your vet. You know, this is simply what we do here. Like I said, I'm just a guy that breeds dogs, you know. So anyway, these are some of the things here that we use, and I'm gonna go kind of. I want you guys to think like this is what I do when it comes to allergies. When I'm approaching an allergy with a dog, right? It's not just a standard, bam, it's one thing every single time. No, it's kind of like a thought process. So I hope you guys kind of gather that from this. So I'm gonna take you guys through the thought process that I have when it comes to assessing a dog with an allergy, right? So the first thing I'm thinking in my head is, you know, is it an allergy from one particular thing, like say we went on a walk or whatever the case may be, and it's just a quick allergy that I need to knock out? Or is it an allergy that is repeatedly being shown, you know, say maybe something in my backyard they keep getting into and keeps aggravating that allergy? You know, that's some of the questions you need to be asking first, you know, not just jumping the gun and getting some kind of medication and giving the dog that medication, because that's also going to play a large role, you know. When it comes to an allergy, I mean, it's sometimes so simple as just changing the dog's food and bam, you're good, you know. So I'm going to kind of go over, like I said, my thought process and what I do when it comes to these allergies, right? So the first thing is, like I just told you guys, I'm thinking about what triggered this allergy. You know, could have been a bug bite, could have been, you know, whatever. You think about your dog's day-to-day living, you know, and what could have triggered this allergy. Was there anything different, you know, anything different that took place that day that may have caused it, you know? And some allergies are more gradual versus others are very dramatic, where within hours you see the face puffing up and all kinds of crazy stuff, you know, looking like a cartoon. So with that being said, the first thing that I would look at and what I would try is I would try some MTG oil. You know, this is I've done episodes on this. It's really dirty because I use it. It has nice sulfurs in this. Don't quote me on this. I have heard of people saying that they've used it for like mange and stuff like that. Don't quote me on that. I've never tried it for mange, but I have tried it for basically all the skin problems that I've had here at the kennel. And this has treated all the skin problems that weren't severe. We're going to get more into others in a few, but like I said, for, you know, common allergies, you know, that I just needed to kind of calm down the aggravation on the skin, you know, because it was just a one-off kind of allergy. You know, maybe the dog got bit by a bug, whatever the case may be, and it's very mild, then I can use something like this, and for the most part, it always works really well, you know, when it comes to like hot spots and things like that. You know, you shake it up. I got plenty of episodes on this, but this is what I would use first. It's like an MTG oil. You know, you can get it over the counter, and you know, it's not like heavy and like it's not an antibiotic or a steroid or anything like that. You know, so this is what I use. It's for horses. Another thing I would be looking at is, other than the MTG oil, if it's not going away, I would maybe look at maybe the dog's food. Recently, I had a situation here where I tried everything. The dog had been on the same food for a while, and all of a sudden the dog was just allergic to that food. It could be that it wasn't even so much the food, but that the company switched an ingredient inside of the food. You don't know that, you know? So the dog's body is reacting to that. So that's another thing that you can do is try switching up the food. I went from the dog, I think you guys all know, like I, for the most part, give all my dogs the red bag from Costco. Well, my one dog was allergic. He was breaking out, losing hair, things like that. Tried the MTG. It was helping a little bit, but it was just continuing. So we switched the food. You know, Jonathan, we switched to the blue salmon bag. Psh, hair came back, and crazy difference, right?
That's life.
Exactly. So that's all it took, you know, going from the bird-based, foods, from going from turkey, we put him on salmon. He's good now, you know, he's great. So the skin isn't aggravated, none of that anymore. So those are two things that I'll be mindful of, you know, trying MTG oil, you know, trying to change the food, you know, maybe those are the things that are aggravating him, you know. And that's what I love about that Costco food, is that they have different varieties of flavors. And anyway, so the next thing, now the next step up on the totem pole, what you can try is, the next thing that you can try is, you can try something like a Clavamox, or like an amoxicillin, a cephalexin. Those are known to help with some skin conditions. Might not necessarily be an allergy, but whatever kind of skin condition that you may be having with your particular dog, you know, then you can start getting into antibiotics. If you tried to manage the environment, you know, maybe keeping the dog inside for a little bit, you know, so that he's not outside, and you're sure that it's not from something outside that's causing the allergy, or the food, or like I said, you try the MTG, then you can get into the antibiotics, you know. And I would try an antibiotic like a cephalexin, an amoxicillin, a Clavamox. You know, you can try the antibiotics and see if that helps. You know, I've heard of people having better successes with like a cephalexin for the skin and things like that. So you could try that, you know. What also works pretty good too for like you know, the hot spots, or in between the toes from the allergy, you know, sometimes you get bubbles and stuff like that, is Neomycin powder. This is yet again what I use, and it's like basically like a sprinkle on antibiotic from my understanding. So you know, you can put that on there, and it basically will help with it'll help kind of bring that down, you know what I'm saying, the blistering and things like that. This has worked really good. We use this for especially those situations. Like I said, the blisters in between the toes and things like that. So yeah, so then you're gonna, like I said, you can go into like your antibiotics. What some people have had success with, I haven't used this all too often, but something relating to, like, you know, skin mites and things like that. Brave Teco, we use this for, like, you know, the flea prevention and stuff like that. But people have had, and even my vet has prescribed this to me, for skin conditions, you know, trying to clear out any skin mites and things like that. You know, trying Brave Teco actually will help, you know, not only prevent them from the fleas, but has shown, I guess, some success when it comes to clearing up the skin. So like I said, I haven't used this all that much, but I get a lot of people who contact me and say, hey, you know, I just got me some Brave Teco and that helped with the skin. So food for thought, you know. And it's not, like I said, yet again, it's not a steroid. It's something you would have to give to your dog anyway. So a lot of people have been having success with this lately, you know. So now, you tried the antibiotics, you tried giving them like a Brave Teco, you know, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, you know. You tried the MTG, you tried all those other things. The next thing you can do, and now this is to be mindful as well. Let's say you have an allergy that it could have been a bug bite, but the allergy is so strong, it's coming on so strong, the dog's face is swelling up, you know, and this is where it can kind of get dangerous at times too, because if it swells up too much, too fast, especially with the type of dogs that we breed, American Bullies and whatnot, like, their throats can close. And I've known of scenarios where people, you know, their dogs have gotten bug bites and their throats close up and the dogs unfortunately pass. So what could have saved those dogs is, obviously it was an allergy, but what could have saved those dogs was a steroid. So now that's the next thing I would get into is a steroid. So now the steroids that I'll use if I feel like it's a very, you know, very fast acting allergy and I need to put a stop to it, is like, you know, a prednisone and a dexamethasone. Dexamethasone, from my understanding, don't quote me on it, but I believe it's like 30 times stronger than prednisone. So that's something to be mindful of. But with prednisone, it's something you can give, and it kind of like it suppresses allergies and things like that, you know, so that then the dog's autoimmune system isn't acting haywire from the allergy, and you know, ultimately, yet again, you can bring all those symptoms down and start assessing what's the problem, you know, before it gets really worse. Dog go fucking bald and shit, going all kinds of craziness. So that's just one thing to be mindful of. You can use like a prednisone. It's a steroid, but it will bring the symptoms down, as well as dexamethasone. I've seen dexamethasone used, and I have used it. For example, like the bug bite scenario where the dog's throat is starting to close up. You know, this will work within hours. I've seen dogs' faces completely swollen, and the faces are gone completely normal within hours. And when you're dealing in a scenario like that where it can affect the dog's breathing ultimately, and can harm the dog's, you know, the dog could lose its life, dexamethasone is great to have on standby. I see a lot of guys who do like hunting in the wild and stuff like that, carry this for their dogs in case they get snake bites and stuff like that. So dexamethasone is great to have on standby because in real reality, I mean, it's super strong. Like any allergy that comes on, you want that shit gone like this will work. But you got to make sure that it's not something like the dog's food, because then you're just giving it back to the dog, you know, and then you'll have to go through a whole cycle of trying to knock out the symptoms all over again. So that's something to just be mindful of, and that's why I said you have to think of it from like a thought process. But if we don't have time, we got to suppress the allergy, dexamethasone. And those, like I said, those are two like steroids. And then some other things I was like, hey, let me just mention, honorable mentions is like things like you can use things like Apoquel. Now Apoquel and like Cytopoint, right? These are drugs like Apoquel right here, yeah. Apoquel and Cytopoint. These are drugs that you can give, you can ask your vet to prescribe, and they're ultimately like allergy pills and shots. What I like about Cytopoint is you can give it to the dog once a month. It's just an injection once a month your vet can do. They may even give it to you to take home, whatever, and it'll suppress the allergy, especially if it's like a food allergy or something like that, and the allergy is in like a lot of foods, and you may not be able to go raw or whatever the case may be, or let's just say it's like a grass allergy, or I don't know, whatever the allergy may be. Cytopoint, they'll usually give you like an injection once every month, which is really nice for the dogs. Or you could do Apoquel where it's going to be like a pill you got to give every day, you know, and that'll help suppress the allergies from going haywire, which ultimately, like I said, you try all these different things, you may have to put the dog on like an allergy pill every day, you know. Everybody's experience is going to be different, but what I found for the most part, if you go through it systematically, check the environment, check the food, you know, check to see if any bugs bit the dog, things like that. For the most part, I mean, I've seen a lot of dogs when the owners systematically do things like that and really try to work to get the dog on, you know, to see what the variable is that's causing the allergy. They usually have some pretty good progress. You know, yet again, there's some dogs that no matter what, hey, you'll just have to give them an allergy shot every month or Apoquel every month. I luckily don't have to do it with any of my dogs, but I have tried, you know, the Cytopoint before when I was dealing with one dog that had a very bad allergy, and yet again, it worked good for the month that I had it on, and then next thing you know, the next month I had to give it. But we were able to, you know, figure out what the situation was, and you know, get the dog off of that Cytopoint. So I'm probably missing some stuff, to be honest, because I just do these off the top of my head. Jonathan will tell you. There was nothing scripted. I said, hey, we're going to go in here and shoot 2 videos, and that's what we did, right?
Thanks.
So I know it was probably a lot of information. How long is this video?
This one's at 14 right now?
14. All right. So yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in here, man.
Yeah, so I'm going to wrap it up. But like I said, guys, you know, I hope this was helpful. I want you guys to just keep thinking and remembering, and I'm just trying to make sure I don't forget anything, but just keep remembering it's systematic. Let's look at the food. Let's look at the environment. You know, it doesn't have to just jump to straight steroids. But there can be scenarios where you do need to jump to a steroid so that the dog is safe. So, hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. Drop a comment down below if you did. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of Breeders' Hacks.